This version of you may look like a man, but it's not what you think, because somewhere along the line your power was stolen and replaced with quiet compliance. You weren't born weak. You were made that way, slowly, not by one event, but by 1,000 quiet messages, each one shaping you into something smaller. Be nice, don't be too loud, don't take up too much space, be soft, be quiet, be safe. And so, you adapted. You stopped speaking up. You began to doubt yourself. You smiled when you didn't want to. You stayed silent when everything inside you wanted to roar. You chose comfort over courage, approval over truth. And at some point, without even realizing it, you stopped being yourself. You became a version of you that was easier to accept, easier to control, easier to ignore. Now you feel it. That dull ache in your chest. That feeling that you're falling behind even when everything looks fine on the outside. Your body is alive, but your spirit is heavy. You scroll, you work, you go through the motions, but nothing feels real. You laugh, but it feels fake. You want more, but you don't even know what that means anymore. This isn't just sadness. It's not just stress. It's the quiet breakdown of a man who traded his strength for safety. And the world is full of men like this. Men who used to dream, fight, build. Now they sit behind desks they hate. They stay in relationships that drain them. They hide their anger, their hunger, their edge, because they've been told those things are dangerous. But what if that's the lie? What if the things you were told to hide are actually your path back to power? What if your anger isn't a problem, but a signal? What if your hunger isn't weakness, but a reminder that you were meant for more? Your second life begins the moment you realize your strength was never lost. It was just buried, under shame, under silence, under the fear of being too much. But now you feel it stirring again. And that feeling? That's not failure. That's the call to wake up. If you don't reclaim your strength, the world won't punish you. It will simply forget you. And worse, you'll forget yourself. You'll keep showing up, doing what's expected, saying all the right things. But behind your eyes, something will start to fade. A slow, quiet erosion of who you really are. Not in one moment, but piece by piece. And the truth is, you won't even notice it happening until it's too late. Carl Jung once said, "The world will ask you who you are, and if you don't know, the world will tell you." That's exactly what's happened to most men. You didn't get to build your identity from the inside out. It was handed to you. You were shaped by the roles others needed you to play. The provider, the protector, the quiet one, the fixer. And without realizing it, you became a stranger to yourself. You stopped taking risks. You stopped asking questions. You stopped dreaming. You live the same year over and over again, calling it a life. You feel this weight in your chest, this itch under your skin, but you keep pushing it down, because comfort is safer, because you don't want to disappoint anyone, because they told you this is what a good man does, but this is the real cost. You don't just lose time, you lose soul. You lose the fire in your voice, the fight in your spirit, the clarity in your eyes. You become flat, numb, passive. You might be alive on the outside, but inside, something is breaking, and no one will save you from it, because the world doesn't mourn men who go quietly. It doesn't hold funerals for wasted potential. It just moves on, like you were never even here. That's the war no one talks about. Not a war with guns or armies, but a war on your inner world, on your confidence, your purpose, your power. And if you don't fight back, you don't just lose. You disappear. There is a quiet war being waged, and most men don't even know they're in it. It doesn't look like a war. There are no explosions, no battlefields, no blood. But the damage is real. It happens in classrooms, in offices, in families. It starts early, when boys are told to calm down, be nice, stop being so aggressive. Little by little, boys are taught that their natural energy, their boldness, their raw edge, is a problem to be fixed. You learn quickly. Sit still. Don't challenge authority. Don't question the rules. Be manageable. Be liked. And the louder your spirit is, the more they try to shrink it, until you become quiet, polite, disconnected from the wild part of yourself that once wanted to conquer, to build, to lead. This isn't random. Society doesn't reward strength, it rewards obedience. It wants men who follow the script, not men who write their own. Men who sit through meetings in silence. Men who feel lost but pretend they're fine. Men who numb themselves with screens, food, alcohol, anything that keeps them from waking up to what they've become. Carl Jung spoke of this exact crisis. He believed that every man carries within him an instinctive force, something ancient, powerful, and necessary. He called it the shadow. It holds all the parts of yourself that were rejected, punished, or buried. Your anger, your ambition, your desire for freedom. And if you don't face it, Jung warned, it will control you from the dark. That's the war. Not outside of you, but inside. The part of you that wants to rise is being smothered by the part that wants to be accepted. And every time you stay quiet when you should speak, every time you fake a smile, every time you betray yourself for approval, that war continues. This world doesn't want you strong. It wants you tame. But deep down you know the truth. You weren't born to be small. You were born to fight, to protect, to rise. And the longer you hide from that truth, the more lost you'll feel. Weakness isn't always loud. It doesn't always look like failure. Most of the time it hides behind a normal life, behind routines, behind responsibilities, behind smiles. From the outside, everything looks fine, but on the inside, there's a quiet feeling that something isn't right. You wake up tired, even after a full night's sleep. You walk through your day like a ghost, doing what needs to be done but feeling nothing. You sit in rooms full of people but feel completely alone. You laugh, but it doesn't reach your eyes. You go to work, do your tasks, come home, and feel like you didn't live it all. You keep thinking, maybe it'll get better next month after this project once things settle down. But deep down you know that's not true. This isn't laziness. It's not just stress. It's the slow death of meaning. It's what happens when a man ignores his deeper needs for too long. His need to grow, to build, to stand for something real. Every time you pretend you're fine, you move further away from who you really are. Every time you stay silent when something inside you is screaming to speak, you shrink a little more. Weakness doesn't start in the body. It starts in the mind, in the choices you make, the little betrayals, saying yes when you mean no, staying quiet when you should speak, smiling when you want to scream. That's how it spreads. Not all at once, but slowly, until one day, you don't recognize yourself anymore. And the worst part, you start to believe that this is just life, that this is what being a man is supposed to feel like, but it's not. You're not broken, you're buried, and deep under all the numbness, there's still a fire waiting to burn again. Getting strong, again, doesn't start with a gym membership or a motivational quote. It starts with one brutal moment of honesty, admitting that you've been living below your potential, not because you're lazy, not because you're weak, but because you were taught to shrink. You were taught to survive, not to lead, to follow rules, not to trust your own fire. But that ends now, because strength isn't just about muscles or toughness. It's about alignment between your actions and your truth, between who you are and how you live. A strong man doesn't chase approval. He chases purpose, and the path to that kind of strength begins with 4 steps. Step 1, brutal honesty. Stop lying to yourself. Stop saying you're okay when you're not. Stop pretending this life is enough when you know it isn't. Say it out loud. I want more. Step 2, discipline. You won't feel like doing it. That's the point. Discipline is how you build trust with yourself again. Wake up early. Train your body. Control your habits. Not to look impressive, but to remember that you are in charge of your own life. Step 3, purpose. Ask yourself, why am I alive? Not what people expect of you, but what you were meant to do. Your strength will come back when your life starts to revolve around something real, something you would suffer for, something that makes your blood move. Step 4, exile. You must accept that you will lose things. People may mock you. Friends may fall away. You may walk alone for a while, but you must choose strength over comfort, authenticity over applause. That's the price of becoming who you truly are. Because the truth is, the world doesn't want you to be strong. It wants you obedient, predictable, controlled. But you were not built for a cage, you were built for battle. And the war you're fighting now inside your own soul is the one that will either break you or make you unstoppable. You don't get strong by avoiding pain. You get strong by walking straight into it and refusing to run. This is where the rebirth begins. Not when life gets easier, but when you decide to stop hiding. When you stop apologizing for being too much. When you stop pretending that silence feels better than truth. the man you were before. He wasn't weak. He was just afraid. Afraid of rejection, afraid of failure, afraid of becoming the kind of man who can no longer be controlled. And that fear has ruled your life for too long. It's told you to stay quiet, to play it safe, to keep your head down, but that fear? It's a liar. And it's time you stopped listening. Carl Jung believed that to become whole, a man must confront his darkness. Not reject it, not hide it, but face it and integrate it. Your anger, your drive, your ambition, your hunger to protect, to lead, to fight, they're not flaws. They are ancient, sacred, necessary. You don't need to get rid of them. You need to learn how to carry them with strength and clarity. You will be misunderstood. You will be judged. You may lose comfort, approval, even relationships. But in return, you will gain something far more valuable: yourself. The real you. The one who lives with fire in his chest. The one who walks into rooms with his head high and eyes clear. The one who refuses to die with his music still inside him. You don't rise by chasing permission. You rise by choosing freedom. And that choice, the one that burns away everything false, is the beginning of your second life. Not a perfect life, not a pain-free life, but a real one. And that's all a man ever needed. The world isn't going to hand your strength back to you. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to tap you on the shoulder and say, now it's your time to live. That moment doesn't come. You create it. You decide. You take it back. You've spent years trying to be good, trying to be liked, trying to be acceptable. But for what? Did it make you happy? Did it make you feel alive? Or did it leave you empty, quietly waiting for something to change? This is your moment. Not because your life is finally perfect, but because you're finally done pretending. You're done playing small. You're done holding your breath, hoping someone gives you permission to be yourself. Because now you understand. You are the permission. You don't need more motivation. You don't need another year to think about it. You need courage. Courage to stand for yourself. To speak the truth even when your voice shakes. To walk away from what drains you. To chase what sets your soul on fire even if it scares you. You will be misunderstood. You will be uncomfortable. But you will also be alive. Fully, wildly, honestly alive. If today was the only day you were guaranteed, would you still waste it pretending? Would you still keep waiting for the right time to become who you really are? This is the war on men. But now you know. And that knowing is your weapon. Reclaim your strength. Start your second life. Not tomorrow. Not someday. You have one life. One fragile, fleeting chance to become the man you were meant to be. Stop rehearsing. Stop waiting. Stop shrinking. No one else is going to live it for you. No one else will carry your pain, your potential, or your purpose. That burden and that gift is yours alone. If this spoke to something buried inside you, if you feel that quiet fire starting to wake up, don't ignore it. Honor it. Let it guide you. Let it grow. This is your turning point. Not a theory. Not a nice idea. A decision. So before you scroll away, ask yourself honestly, if today was your last chance to live as your true self, would you take it? If your answer is yes, then say it out loud. Type it. Claim it. I'm ready to reclaim my strength. Not someday. Today. This is how your second life begins, right now and this time. It's for you.